Today we'll discuss the Title III English Language Acquisition Grant, which you are applying for through the Prince George's County Public School System. Our Title III grants team includes myself, Diane Yohe, Kathy Zentek, and Karen Irving. The topics of this video will include the funding process, so you can learn how your school qualifies for Title III funds. The meaningful consultation form, that's where you will learn what funds your school has to spend and how to track your purchases. The allowable expenditures, we'll discuss what can be purchased with Title III funds, and then what to do once you receive your purchases as they're delivered to your school. The funding process begins with TEL testing. Every fall, students with a home language other than English are administered the test of English language learning, and students with an overall level of 1 through 4 qualify to be included in our Title III grant. In the spring, the total grant amount is estimated by us based on the previous year's grant amount and the trend of increases over recent years. From there, we take the number of public school students and the number of non-public school students and total them. We then divide that number into the net grant amount that we've estimated, and the dividend then becomes the dollar amount that each qualified student earns for your school in those grant funds. The funding here's an example of what the funding formula looks like. You start with your Title III grant, and a 2% administrative cost is removed from the top. Once you've subtracted the administrative cost, then we get the net grant amount. From there, we take the total number of public and non-public students, and we divide that number into the net grant amount, and that does give us the per pupil expenditure, or the dollar amount that each student earns for your school. You will click the link to choose your meaningful consultation form in a Google Drive folder that is in the email that you received today. This is an example of what the meaningful consultation form looks like. You can see in the top left, there is a grant, a PPE per pupil expenditure of $120. This is only for example purposes. This is not the real meaningful consultation form. Let's say that this school had 50 students who qualified for the grant, and that would give the grant amount at $6,000. So that's the number, the dollar amount that we'll work with during your meaningful consultation meeting. You can see the $6,000 has been transferred over to the far right in the header column. From there, we will begin to deduct from that amount as you let us know what you want to purchase with those monies. The first item that will be on everyone's meaningful consultation will be to set aside funds for the next year TEL. So that is $8.15 in 2025. And you have to say how many licenses you would like to purchase, and we'll take that money right off the top. And from there, you can purchase curricular materials, technology, any other types of instructional materials that will be used with your multilingual learners. A few guidelines that are part of your meaningful consultation. It's important that you know that estimated costs are subject to change based on the vendor's final quote. If a final allocation is more or less than what we estimated it to be, schools will indicate what could be added or subtracted so that we can balance their budget. The orders will be placed in July or August of the current school year for the following school year. You should contact the Title III team if orders are not received by September 30th of the current school year. And once orders are received, you are required to email the Title III team to release funds for payment, and that's very important. At the end of your meaningful consultation meeting, we will share with you the link to a Google form that once you've completed it, we will be able to export it in PDF for the state of Maryland. This will be what we call the affirmation of consultation, and that guarantees the state of Maryland that we did sit down with you and consult with you regarding your funds. What are some common purchases that are allowable for Title III? Many schools go the technology route. Some schools buy a smart board, Chromebooks, iPads, covers or cases for those items, headsets, and charging carts for either iPads or Chromebooks as well have been purchased. Materials of instruction can include trade books, any kind of supplementary materials, leveled readers, or something like that that go with your curriculum, bilingual texts, audio materials, or some students buy English language development curriculum. Software licenses are popular. People have purchased BookFlix, Learning Ally, BrainPop, iLit, Reading A to Z, and many of those BrainPop and iLit and Reading A to Z have ELL versions for English language learning. So many people have purchased those. And then we do allow people to contract with companies to provide professional development to their teachers. We generally work with the English Language Learner Portal or the Immigrant Connections. Those are two businesses that provide a lot of professional development to Prince George's County Public Schools. Okay, the final step in the grant process for any school year is to let us know when you have received your purchases. Please email all of us or one of us to let us know that if you have purchased something physical, a technology item, or any kind of supplies or materials, and those were delivered to your school, please email us because our vendors are waiting for payment, but we will not release payment until we know that you've received your purchases. Thank you very much. I hope this video has helped you understand the Title III grant process.